Well, good morning. I just finished planning another flight, and I have filed it using Pilot ATC. So my first step is to get my engines running, and so I'm going to ask for engine start. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, radio check.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, you are loud and clear.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, ready for engine start.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, engine start approved.
TOS system test, OK.
Engine start approved. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. Okay, we have permission for engine start. Alright, get fuel started here, lights on. Battery on. Take a look to the left. He's out of the way, hopefully. Good.
TOS system test, OK.
Engine. The right engine's running. Alternators on. Avionics. Started. Give me a minute to set this up. Now for the first leg, I need the GPS. Okay.
Got 3313 on my tower, 18 clear line.
Okay. See if we can get ATIS.
Gary Chicago International Information Victor, 945 Zulu, winds are 152 at 6 knots. Visibility 10 miles. Skies broken. Temperature 14, dew point 13. Current altimeter is 3031. Arriving and departing runway 02. Gary Chicago International Information Victor, 945 Zulu, winds are 152 at 6.
Okay. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey with information Victor, ready to copy VFR flight plan. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey cleared VFR to Kilo Mike Foxtrot Delta with radar advisory service at 10,500 feet. Squawk 3614 advise of altitude changes en route. Departure on 133.1.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey cleared to Kilo Mike Foxtrot Delta. VFR plan. Expect 10,500 feet. Squawk 3614. departure on 133.1. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, read back correct. Altimeter 3031, expect runway 02, advise when ready to taxi.
Altimeter 3031, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. Alright, we got some numbers here. I filed for 9,500, but they're taking me up to 10.5. To Squawk
Yeah, 3313 West Army
3614, back on. Active. Okay. Altimeter is 3031. And they told us to use runway, we expect runway 02. I don't really care for that runway. If you've flown with me before, when I've flown and tried to land on this runway, it appears to be operational or not operational in the Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. It's got two big yellow X's in it. I know it appears to be actually an active runway, but so when I do taxi, I'm going to request runway 12. So I need to enter in a little bit here into our flight plan, because the first leg is GPS to Haley. Okay. G.
Got 3313, sorry, it's been a long day already, so I'll verify runway 18, clear land. 18, clear land, Tower 3313. Thanks. Ground Southwest 43, just pushed up.
Gary, Chicago International.
Ready for taxi.
South 43 on my ground runway, 14 taxi via South Whiskey.
And the waypoint,
Southwest 43.
which is H. A. L. I. Oops. E. H-A-L-I-E. Okay. Squawk, barometric pressure. We have the right CDI. Heading bug. I'm going to ask for, like I said, runway 12, so heading bug is 120. Okay. Turn on floodlights and panel Oops, that was the wrong one.
Go 3313, turn right at Delta contact ground. Right at Delta over the ground.
Okay.
Flight us 156 Bravo, ground visual runway 18.
Flight 1560 Bravo, my tower, runway 18, clear to land.
Okay.
Flight us 156 Bravo.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey requesting taxi instructions to runway 12.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey taxi to runway 12 via taxiways Charlie, Alpha, Alpha 1, hold short runway 30, and runway 20, and runway 12. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey clear to cross runway 12.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey taxi to runway 12 via taxiway Charlie, Alpha, Alpha 1. Hold short runways 30, 20, and 12. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. So let's see what she's talking about here. So we're here, along here, at 12.
Southwest 43, my tower, flight 140.
She told, said Charlie. This is Charlie, Alpha, and Alpha 1. Hold short runway 20. I do not know why she wants. I don't know why that is. Why? Alright, well there's something wrong with that. Taxi lights on. So we just, let's see. So we're right here, so we just need to turn right.
43, kind of park, good flight.
Go that way, okay.
Southwest 40.
Okay, here we go. See if we can find our way in the dark. Ah.
681, Charlie, off my tower, 18, clear to land.
Forklift on the taxiway.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey clear to cross runway 20.
Cleared to cross runway 20, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey.
Sierra Bravo, be a left turn on Sierra, left at Mike, hold short of 14 left, minus frequency.
Left on Sierra, left on Mike, hold
A
short
lot of
of
stars
114
out
left,
tonight.
156 Bravo.
Now, I don't know if I need to open a flight plan. This whole VFR
Sierra Bravo, you can contact ground.
flying is, I'm familiar with it. I'm trying to figure it out.
Bravo's on Sierra going to TAC Air. 156 Sierra Bravo, my tower, effective on my ground, cross 14 left at Mike, take the ramp. Cross 14 left at Mike, go to the ramp, 6 Bravo.
Or was it that
Yes, sir.
when
2 miles, 7 altitude unknown, just dropped off now, no longer.
I asked for how the flight plan, if it was accepted, if asking that, if that opens the flight plan? I don't know, but I'm going to go ahead and see if I can open it down
And
here.
1 Charlie Alpha's going to TAC Air.
1 Charlie Alpha, Roger, you can plan for a left turn at,
Because pilot the ATC isn't going to say, oh, that's wrong.
Clearance, 543.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey contact tower on 125.6. Have a good morning.
32 Mike at Alpha 6, lead
Tower on 125.6, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey.
VFR up to Lima Yankee Victor.
Now, tower wouldn't have anything to do with that, so maybe it's center. So I'm not going to do a run up. I'm going to go ahead and go on over there to the runway. Trying to process all this in my mind. Okay, flight director, toga, heading bug, landing lights, park, taxi lights off, strobe on, transponder is on. Okay. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey ready for takeoff.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey winds are 152 at 6 knots cleared for takeoff, runway 12.
Cleared for takeoff. Runway 12, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. I'm going to move off this pad. Get down here where the lights are. Okay. Gear up. Back on props. We're pretty much right on track. Might as well just turn on the autopilot. And maybe this is the time to open up the flight plan. I don't know. Open flight plan for Baron 1 Mike Whiskey from Kilo Golf Yankee Yankee to Kilo Mike Foxtrot Delta at 10,500 feet. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, please say request again with departure and destination ICAO codes as specified in your flight plan. Good morning. Radar contact. Altimeter 3034.
Now, why aren't we following? Oh, I need to put it on nav instead of heading. There we go. Open flight plan for Baron 1 Mike Whiskey from Kilo Golf Yankee Yankee to Kilo Mike Foxtrot Delta at 10,500 feet. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey.
Contact Chicago departure on 133.1. Enjoy your morning.
Departure on 133.1. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. I was kind of wondering about that. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey climbing through 4,700 feet.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, good morning. Radar contact. Altimeter 3031.
Altimeter 3031, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. Taking landing lights off. See, there's a lot of stutter. Open flight plan for Baron 1 Mike Whiskey from Kilo Golf Yankee Yankee to Kilo Mike Foxtrot Delta at 10,500 feet. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, flight plan activated at altimeter at Gary Chicago International is 3031, roger.
Altimeter is 3031, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. So I need to be in contact with departure or center. Since I had the tower, yeah. Now if I was at an airport that didn't have a tower or ground, I could open it because I would be in contact with center or departure. But believe, I mean, it's all trial and error for me. Make sure we've got gear up. Gears up. Now we need to turn left. Turn off flight plan here, or nav. Put it on heading bug. Oop, left. Go to the east, and we'll pick up our first VOR. Our first VOR. The frequency is 113.7.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, contact Chicago Center on 127.55. Enjoy.
Center on 127.55. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. We don't have it yet. Oh yeah, we do. Why doesn't it? Hold on a second. Oh, it's 270. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey climbing through 9,500 feet.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, good morning. Radar contact. Altimeter 3032.
Altimeter 3032, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. Okay. Nav and altitude hold. Good. So we'll get centered on the 270 radial to Golf Sierra Hotel VOR. I'll show you. So we just departed.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey for continued VFR advisories, contact Chicago Center on 132.905. Have a good morning.
Center on 132.905, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey at 10,500 feet.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, good morning. Radar contact.
Okay, so took off from Gary, we passed over Haley, and we're on our way to Goshen. And that's a little bit of a way to go. Let's see, we're lining up on that VOR now. It's 40 miles out. We're inbound. The lake is to our left. There's a sliver of a moon up there, as you can see, and the sun is just starting to give kind of a pink hue to the horizon. So I can range this out a little bit so we have a little bit of a... Now I can also check. I doubt if I'll pick up anything. I'm not expecting any weather. And nothing. At least not 10 miles out. Okay. All right. So let's get ourselves down to 2300 RPMs.
Got 3313, sorry, San Juan, Del Rey, want to verify runway 18, clear to land.
Okay, they're both on at 2300 RPMs. Oil pressure's good. They have plenty of fuel. So, here we are. Now, it's been a few days since I've flown. Busy. But, the other morning when I was trying to create a flight plan, and I never did fly, but I was working on a flight plan, I noticed that my PC, my Windows 10 PC, needed to be, had an update, and so I let it reboot, and I noticed that it downloaded and installed a SIM Connect app, and I was kind of interested in that because I've heard about SIM Connect, and you know, I think that's the interface between Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and the different add-on, well, I don't know if you can call them add-on, the other different software packages that tie into it. And one of the things that it said on the SIM Connect was Navigraph. It said SIM Connect Navigraph, and that's kind of what I've been waiting for. So I looked a little farther, and I went to the Navigraph website, and I saw that I could, since I have I pay a monthly fee to them, subscription, that I can download their beta Navigraph for FS 2020, which I did, and it installed easily, and this is my first flight using that. I did do a couple of tests just to see what was going on, and it did not look like runway 02 at Gary, Chicago is any good, for whatever reason. But it appeared that the other airports, and I did not check very many, just one other, it matched up with the charts, the plates for different RNAV approaches. So I'm hopeful, but I cannot give you a definitive answer. So, let's see now.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey for continued VFR advisories, contact Chicago Center on 119.85. Enjoy.
Center on 119.85, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey at 10,500 feet.
1 Mike Whiskey, good morning. Radar contact. Altimeter 3033.
Altimeter 3033, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. See, it's trying to... The altitude hold does not adjust to change in barometric pressure. It looks like it's trying to, but it never does. So when I get off very far, I have to climb or descend a little bit to bring it back in line.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey for continued VFR advisories, contact Chicago Center on 127.55. Have a good morning.
Center on 127.55. Take care, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey.
Yeah, 3330.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey at 10,500 feet.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, good morning. Radar contact.
The pilot to ATC, you can speed up the voices or slow them down. This is their voices right now are as they come. But I talk so slow, I just don't mentally process this information as quickly as I'd like to. It's challenging for me. It's a lot of fun though.
Yeah, 3313 on down at 18 clear line.
I like being able to talk to him. I have a push to talk. It's, you know, I have my space bar on my Logitech keyboard pinned to that so that I can just push on the space bar and talk to pilot to ATC. That takeoff was really squirrely because I had a little bit of a wind. The wind was at 150.55. That's there. Excuse me. The wind was at 152 at 6 knots, and the runway heading was 120. So there was just a little bit of a side wind, but they need to work on that a little bit. And there needs to be a way to where you don't overcorrect. I was very careful with the joystick, hardly making any movements at all, and yet the Baron just snaked down that runway. It was like left, right, you know, and there was hardly any wind at all. The Baron is rated up to a 22 knot crosswind, and there's no way it could take off with any kind of a side wind at all. And they were wanting us to take off on 02. I don't know if the weather in this flight sim is...
Southwest 43, just pushed off Bravo 16, Delta.
No, because I checked the weather conditions on SkyVector, and that was what the wind was. But maybe it didn't change on the flight sim. I don't know. I'm a little confused by that. We've got 5 miles, and then I need to turn to heading 108. Turn my heading bug. To about half of that. We could probably start that turn now. Heading bug. I mean, I don't have to be exactly online because I'm VFR. I have to keep remembering that. Oops. 133. Yep. Let's see. Just course. To 180. Heading. Probably should have pushed that sooner.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey for continued VFR advisories. Contact Chicago Center on 119.85. Enjoy your morning.
Center on 119.85. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. Also, I speak softly because everybody's asleep in the house. So, okay, I've got Baron 1 Mike Whiskey at 10,500 feet.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, good morning. Radar contact.
So I don't have to ask for flight following because I filed a flight plan. I guess that may have to do with departing from an airport that doesn't have a control tower. So I'm not going to ask for flight following because it seems that they're providing me with the service.
Yeah, 3313 West Down at 18 clear land.
So we've got about 108 miles on this track. So I'm hopeful, like I said, that Navigraph is now tied into Flight Simulator 2020. Is that right? Let's check this. That can't be right. No, it's not. Oh, 108, not 180. My goodness. I have a lot of trouble with transposing. Right there. I'm going to turn the heading bug go on the heading bug
1 Delray, so I'll verify runway 18, clear to land. 18, clear to land. Thanks. Ground Southwest 43, just pushed up Bravo 16, Delta, ready for taxi.
Control 43 on my ground runway, what's right taxi via Delta?
Looks like there's an aircraft coming in for a landing to this runway here.
Southwest 43.
Now, this is artificial intelligence aircraft. I don't have the real aircraft flying around. So it doesn't really work with pilot to ATC. So I just adjust the number of airliners and general aviation aircraft and see what I like, you know. Well, I have quite a ways to go to get myself. I mean, I'll get myself corrected here. We are VFR. So I wonder what town that would be. Let's see. Maybe Auburn? Let's see how far we are.
Go 3313, turn right at Delta County ground. Right at Delta over ground.
13 miles. Yeah.
South visual runway 18.
Flight 1560 Bravo, Montana, runway 18, clear to land.
Clear to land 18, flight 1560.
Let's see. Oh, the Fort Wayne is on the right. That's a big one. But see, we're off a little bit. I'm over here somewhere.
Southwest 43, Montana, flight 140 and then 14 right, clear.
So we're starting to come in line with it. So I guess that's Fort Wayne over there. Getting back on the right radial.
Southwest 3 can park, good flight. Parking Southwest 40.
108, not 180. So I'm heading actually to Erie, Pennsylvania. But it's a 2-hour flight, but I thought I would do 2 1-hour flights. I think the more that I take off and land, the better. One is that I get more takeoff and landings in, which is good. And each flight leg is an hour, and it's not quite so ponderous. You know, with a 2 or 3 hour flight, that's a long video. And eventually I hope to end up in Nantucket. I loved the Wings comedy. I loved that a lot. You know, when it came out, we had cable, and we had the History Channel, and History Channel had a series also. It was called Wings, but it was about the history of different aircraft. And so whenever I saw Wings on broadcast
Baron 1
television,
Mike Whiskey for continued VFR advisories, contact Chicago Center on 127.55. Have a good morning.
center on 127.55, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey at 10,500 feet.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, good morning. Radar contact. Altimeter 3035.
Altimeter 3035, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. Now you'll notice this does not change. There's a mistake. This should correct, but it doesn't. So I would see that, and I go, oh, well, I saw that on History Channel. I'm not going to watch it. I didn't realize it was a sitcom. I didn't realize there were 2 different programs running. So I missed the original series. I didn't discover Wings until it was on reruns. And it's funny to me. Okay, so let's take a look again. So we're still going along here on our way to Flag City, VOR. Then to Mansfield, VOR. And this is where we're going to land for this morning, is here. I believe runway 14 is the active runway right now. So we can use the VOR. So it's radial 310 that way, 130 towards the VOR, and so the runway is just off angle just a little bit, but I don't see where we would have any trouble.
Got 3313, sorry, turn along the L race, verify runway 18 clear to land. 18 clear to land,
Now again, with this flying VFR, I don't know what I'm supposed to say to the airport that I want to land at. Let's see, Baron inbound at 10,500 feet, requesting a straight-in approach to runway 14 at Kilo Mike Foxtrot Delta. But I don't want to be vectored. Oh, I didn't ask for vectors, so don't know. Let's see how this goes. For one thing, I don't know how it's supposed to be done, and another, I don't know how ATC, pilot ATC handles it. Let's see, how far out are we? 41 miles. We could probably switch over to the next VOR. And that frequency is 108.2. We haven't picked up FBC yet. No, I'm just going to do the heading bug. Should be picking it up here in a little bit. Or do I just request for permission to land? I mean, I do have a flight plan filed, so they're expecting me. I think. So.
43 more tower, flooding 140 and then 14 right, clear for takeoff. Flight 140, take off 14 right, southwest 43.
Don't know how to look up for examples on how to do this. I mean, I know how to do it with instrument flight rules, but I don't know how to do it with visual flight rules. Yeah. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey inbound for visuals straight into runway 14. I think that's all I need to say. I was checking my cheat sheet. I have everything printed out that Pilot to ATC provides. I think you can.
681 Charlie Alpha Mike Tower, 18 cleared land.
Is it grammar help? And I think you can print out the whole thing. Everything. Here it is right here. Print all. You can print out everything. I just also have a file with the ones that I use the most. So we're about halfway there, and we are off course.
Well, the 60 Brownfield left turn on Sierra, left at Mike, hold short of 14 left, right
But I pretend that I don't have that information. I just try to think about just what I have here in the cockpit. I could look, I guess. I don't know.
Left 60 Brown, leaving contact ground.
Let's see. So the frequency, right, is 113.7. I haven't changed it. That's why. No. 108.2.
Yes, you're at 2 o'clock, 2 miles, 7 up and unknown, just dropped off now, longer observed.
What's way up?
108.2. 291. Oh, wait a minute. I had. We come out on 291. No, we're inbound on 291. That's the reverse. 2.
It's 5432 Mike at Alpha 6 CFR up to Lake Victor. 5432 Mike 8 Thunder aircraft and equipment subject to visual flight
We should be picking up. It's not that far. We should be picking up. Well, it might just not be that strong of a VOR. We're plenty high. We should be getting it.
It'll be probably a 005. 005.
So we're along here. We're over here somewhere. Fort Wayne, Indiana. Oh, we've already done that. Yeah, that should be to our rear. Let's take a look.
Okay, at or below 3,500, 24.50250.
There's a big wind farm. Let's see if we can find that on the map. Here's that wind farm. See it? So we're fairly close.
Ground Princess 5432 Mike Alpha 66.
Well, that was sure easy to see here in Flight Sim 2020. I have nav 1 on.
Echo current, altimeter 3008.
Oh, there we go. Finally. Need to go to the right.
Okay, after 1-4 left crossing, Mansfield,
Two 291. 291.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey for continued VFR advisories, contact Cleveland Center on 128.62. Good day.
Cleveland Center on 128.62. Take care, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey at 10,500 feet.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, good morning. Radar contact.
Okay, barometric pressure is the same. Trying to pick up the 291 radio.
Yeah, 3313 Montana, 18 clear land.
So that would be Cleveland over there. Oh, Fort Wayne. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm not familiar with this part of the country. It's Toledo. So we're still heading to Flag City VOR. Interstate 75. Highway 30. We're coming along. Waiting for this radial. So why don't I just program in GPS? Because it's so easy then. All you have to do is just ride along. I did it for a while. I worked up to a jet, not a liner, but a jet, and I had plans of flying across the country, and you know, it was kind of boring, I have to say. You take off, get up to altitude, turn on it's on GPS or RNAV, and it just turns when it's supposed to, and all I have to do is change frequencies, and I have pilot the ACC do that. Then I got to descend and land, but in between takeoff and landing, it's pretty dull. So I kind of backed away for a while, and I thought about it. I decided that I wanted to fly using NavAids, VOR, NDBs, and there's a challenge because I make mistakes. You saw that earlier. But I'm more engaged and more to do, so it's more entertaining. So we're 24 miles out from Flag City. Then we'll be turning to 097 and go 53 miles. So the next frequency we need is 108.8. Have that ready. I might as well have it on nav 2. Let's see here. Kind of lazy this morning. 108.8 is not in range yet. I'll turn on nav 2 speaker. Okay, turn on nav now. There. Now we're on the 097 radio. Is that right? Zero 091. Course is 111.
Southwest 43, 1 tower, flooding 140, and then 14 right, clear for takeoff.
Flight 140, takeoff 14 right, Southwest 43.
Zero 097. I need practice. Beautiful morning. Last of the wind farm over here. I can see it clearly on my monitor. So we are outbound 097 from, what was it called? Flag City. No, we're inbound. not doing very well.
Say 1 Charlie Alpha Mike Tower and 18 clear line.
We haven't crossed over yet. I'm zigzagging across the sky. 291. We haven't crossed over yet. Once you cross over, we turn to 097. Just see the sun coming up pretty fast.
Well, the
10 miles.
Left turn on Sierra, left at Mike, hold short of 14 left, minus 3.
I need to make some more audio recordings of ATC. I'm kind of tired of hearing the same thing being said all the time.
West, Sierra Bravo, you can contact ground.
Charlie. Ground pilot 156 Bravo on Sierra going to TAC Air. 156 Bravo on my tower. Professional ground south 14 left at Mike, tag you in. Cross 14 left at Mike, going to ramp 6 road.
Got your 10 at 2 o'clock, 2 miles, 7 up unknown, just dropped off now, I'll grab there.
It's like I'm tacking in a sailboat or something. Good thing I took on a fairly full load of fuel.
And 1 Charlie Alpha is on the TAC Air.
1 Charlie Alpha, Roger, you can plan to go west turn at Sierra.
So we got 6.5 miles. Then we turn to 097.
It's 5432 Mike at Alpha 6 VFR to Lima Yankee Victor. 5432 Mike, the attack aircraft and equipment suspect, what did you want to play for? We're a Cessna 340 slant, Bravo Golf. What's your first heading to Lima Yankee Victor? It'll be probably a 005. 005, thank you, sir. And this is
3 miles out. 3.5. Get my heading bug ready. Let's see, 0.
Okay, at or below 3,500, 24.50250 for...
It's not much of a turn, but it's a turn nonetheless. Okay, so now we go to 097.
Ground Princess February 32 Mike.
Now, this thing with the barometric pressure, I mess with it a lot. I have to write down to know what the last 3033, so that's one bad thing about two knobs on top of each other.
Echo current, altimeter 3008.
Still really clumsy with this. Obviously, we're going to be almost straight into the sun. Okay, when we regain our signal, I'll turn it back on to NavAids. navigation. Okay, nav on. Now we're on the 09 or 7 radial out of Flag City, and we have about a 53 nautical mile trek. And that will take us to this VOR right here. And so then I need to turn to intercept this. So let's take a look again. So 130 or 310. It's a 310, and that is Mansfield at 108.8, and our heading will be 130. The runway heading is 140. Actually, let's see, it doesn't say, but roughly 140. So we should be able to spot it. Now if I descend 1,000 feet a minute, let's see, the end of the runway is the tower is at about 1,350 feet. So if I want to be 1,000 feet above the end of the runway, I'll be at 2,350 feet. So if we descend to 5,500 feet, that's 5 minutes. If we're at 10,500, so 5 minutes, and then from 5,500 to, let's say, 2,500, that's 3,000 feet, so that's 3 minutes.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. For continued VFR advisories, contact Cleveland Center on 134.9. Good day.
Contact Cleveland Center on 134.9. Take care, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey at 10,500 feet.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, good morning. Radar contact. Altimeter 3034.
Altimeter 3034, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. Okay, so we have picked up our final VOR for this trip. What we were hearing is this. So you can see out here, we don't want to get too low. There's an 1,853 foot obstacle.
Yeah, 3332 miles down at 18 clear line.
And we will be entering a Class C airspace. Do we need to ask for permission? I believe so. Now if we miss our approach, I need to turn to the left and head for Reeds. So it looks like about, you climbed, you go straight, climb to 1700, then turn left to 3,000 feet. You go to radio 101. And that is 20 miles from Reeds. Now, so you catch this radial to Reeds. I believe that's the way that works. So they want us at about 3,000 feet. At the Vortac, here's the Vortac. Then you descend to 2,900. You gotta
Baron 1
remain.
Mike Whiskey, contact Mansfield, approach on 124.2. Enjoy your morning.
Say again for Baron 1 Mike Whiskey.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, contact Mansfield, approach on
That's what I thought.
124.2. Enjoy your morning.
Mansfield approach on 124.2, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. Approach on 124.2, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey at 10,500 feet.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, good morning. Radar contact. Expect runway 14.
Expect runway 14, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. So let's switch over to the Mansfield VOR. Put this on heading bug. Switch frequencies. And center on that. Turn on nav. And we are 27 nautical miles out. That's not very far, so we need to start descending. Goes by pretty quick. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey descending to 5,500 feet.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, roger.
So we'll descend maybe to 3,000 and then go from there after the 5,500. So when we cross over, we need to be on radio 310. Let's take a look here. No, well, heading 130. That's our heading. The radial will be 310 right here. So this tail will be here once we cross over the Mansfield VOR. This is a lot of fun. Try to problem solve all this. I see some clouds over there. I think it's clouds. Maybe it's lake. Maybe. Take a look. Yeah, could very well be Lake Erie. So we're along here somewhere. So Buckroost might be off to our right.
Sure, copy this mission. Bravo Crew 1030, flight altimeter 30.
18 miles out. And then that stretch to Mansfield, I don't know, it's, do they say? 30. Don't know. Because see, this is my flight plan that I'm trying to follow. We'll go here tomorrow, overfly Canton, overfly Youngstown, and then up to here to Erie. That's my hope. $12 miles. You can see Lake Erie off in the distance. It's a little cloud right there in the props. Right here is a little cloud.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, expect landing runway 14 at Mansfield Lahm Regional.
Expect landing runway 14 at Mansfield Lahm Regional, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. I have all that written out on a piece of paper on a clipboard because I can't remember squat.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, you are 13 nautical miles from Mansfield Lahm REGL. Radar service terminated. Contact tower on 119.8. Enjoy.
Tower on 119.8. Take care, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, descending through 5,700 feet.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, good morning. Radar contact. Altimeter 3036.
Altimeter 3036, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. Altimeter hold. We've got 5 miles to go. 3036. Okay. think what I'm supposed to do is when I have the airfield in sight that I just let them know. Because I have filed a flight plan. Is that the field there? And keep sending. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey descending to 3,000 feet.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey Roger.
It could be. Slow this bit down. Heading, and I need to turn to 310. Okay, let's take a look out here. Oops. Can we see anything? Kind of hard with that sun. Oh, we're right over it. Okay. I think that's it. Must be. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, airfield in sight.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, this is Mansfield Tower on 119.8. Please repeat your request.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, airfield is in sight.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey Roger, winds are light and variable, cleared to land runway 14.
Cleared to land runway 14. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. Difficult to judge distances. I don't see any other. It's got to be it. I was thinking there was another runway there. Okay, what can I do here? I need to set this to 040. Sorry about all this. It's like I said, I'm not very good at it. Okay. Right about right. Okay. Turn on base. Kind of close. Should have gone a little farther. Gear down. Flaps down. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey turning base to final.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey winds are light and variable, cleared to land runway 14.
Cleared to land runway 14, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. Yeah, I needed to go farther before I turned on base. Still learning how to judge distances. Everything looks good.
500.
Glide slope. Kind of a wind.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey exit runway when able.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, roger. Assume we go to the right. Should have checked that, but I didn't. Kind of like threading a needle here. And I hope take off again tomorrow from here, head on to Erie. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, clear of active.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey, welcome to Mansfield Lahm REGL, contact ground on 121.8. Enjoy your morning.
Ground down to 121.8, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. Yeah. Flaps are up. Baron 1 Mike Whiskey requesting taxi instructions to general aviation parking.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey taxi to general aviation parking via taxiways Echo, Delta, Alpha, hold short runway 32.
Taxi to general aviation parking via taxiways Echo, Delta, Alpha, hold short runway 32, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. Now, I've never been here before. I should have pulled this up long before this. Oh wait, is this it? No, this is okay, we need KMFD. KMFD. And
Got 3313 miles per hour, 18
taxi. So I think we exited here. Right here. So Echo, Delta, Alpha. Okay. And FBO is over here. I'm going to land right, or park over here. So we do need to stop, wait for runway 32 or 23. Oh, 32. Huh. Yeah, we'll see what happens. The look of the sun on the asphalt or concrete or whatever that is really nice.
Got 3313, sorry, San Juan Del Rey, I'll verify runway 18, clear land. 18, cleared land, Southwest 3313. Thanks.
Southwest 43, just pushed off Bravo 16, Delta, ready for taxi. Southwest 43 on my ground runway 14 taxi via Golf Whiskey. 14 right via Golf Whiskey, Southwest 43.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey ready to cross runway 23.
Baron 1 Mike Whiskey cleared to cross runway 23.
Cleared to cross runway 23, Baron 1 Mike Whiskey. See if we can see anybody over here where I can go. I mean, I don't. There's a guy over there. I don't know if that's where I'm supposed to go. I never do know where I see people, but I don't know if they're servicing other aircraft. Oh, here we go. Kind of at an angle.
Go 3313, turn right at Delta contact ground. Right at Delta over ground. Go. Hey.
Airplane 156 Bravo, sound visual runway 18.
Class 1560 Bravo, my tower, runway 18, clear to land.
Clear to land 18.
Okay.
156 Bravo.
I'm calling that good.
On ground tower, 3313, joining Delta for Alpha 9. Yes, 3313, oh my god, take that.
Okay, well that completes my early morning flight from Gary, Chicago to Mansfield, Lahm Regional. So, hope you enjoyed the flight. That was another adventure of Baron 51 Mike Whiskey. Take care.